Hello everybody! Today we're going to unbox the Westonetek Waterproof LED Light, take a close-up look and test it out. So let's go ahead and open up the box. And of course, let's pop out the contents from the clear box. Okay, so that's the box emptied out. Let's set that to one side. And then let's check out the controller first. So the Submersible Waterproof LED Light has a remote controller to operate the LED light. Okay, let's pop the controller out from its clear plastic packaging there, and then set that down to one side as well. So you can see it is quite a slim remote controller. And it does come with a battery included. And that's the infrared sensor or transmitter at the front. So quite a lightweight and small, slim controller. Let's go ahead and tap on the buttons. Obviously the protective battery tab is still in there, but let's check it out by pressing on the buttons just to get a sense of the feel and texture and response of the buttons. So it is a simple pad style button. Quiet operation there. Okay, let's set the controller down to one side and then check out the light unit itself. So as you can see, it is a circular, cylindrical, or round LED light, and it is waterproof and submersible, so it can be immersed in water for decorative lighting, such as placing it in your aquarium, swimming pool, bathtub, or any other kind of use that you can think of. So you can see the array of LED lights. I can count 10 of them. And of course there is a receiver. So that is the receiver for the remote control to operate the light. And the light requires 3 AAA batteries to operate, and they are not included with this package. So let's go ahead and unscrew the light unit here, or you can do it by twisting at the top. So as we can see, the battery compartment to the lighting unit, which requires 3 AAA batteries. So I do have 3 AAA batteries on the standby, and they are the Amazon Basics rechargeable AAA batteries, which I've previously unboxed in an earlier video. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop them in. And instantly the light comes on. And it's nice and very, very bright indeed. Okay, let's go ahead and screw the top back on, and obviously you can see there is a O-ring seal around it to keep the water from entering the battery compartment. So make sure that it is nice and tightly closed. So just double checking around to make sure that it has been evenly tightened. So nice and tight. So for extra grip, there is a little handle there. Okay, and let's move on to the remote controller and pull out the protective battery tab. And obviously I should show you the battery that's included. So it is a CR2025 battery, as indicated on the rear of the battery or remote controller. So let's go ahead and slot it back in. And then let's have a play of the light. Let's press the off button just to make sure that we can control the light. So you can see the light go off right there with the press of the off button. And let's try the other buttons without pressing on and see if they respond or not, just to make sure that there is some basic protection or intuitiveness in terms of operating the light. So there we go, just press back on the on button and the light is now flashing as before, cycling through red, green, blue, red, green, blue. So the three primary colors there, as you can see, indicated by R, G, and B on the remote control. So let me set the light to one side so you can see more clearly what's happening. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a play with the buttons. So let's press on the red. So the red fixes it in the red color, and green obviously green, and blue brings it to blue, and W brings it to white. So there are four colors: red, green, blue, and white. And let's try with the two buttons here, I believe are the brightness adjustments. So as you can see, dimming it down, and okay, I need to make sure that the controller is sort of pointing into the receiver of the light, but there we go, it is now sensing once again. Oh, not quite. Let me do it that way. So there is a transmitter or receiver, that black circuitry there. Let's go ahead and set it so that it is facing us. And maybe I should turn it upside down. It really depends on how you want to set up the light, because with the direct exposure like that, it could be quite intense, as you can see, very bright indeed. So let's set it down for the time being, and let's go ahead and resume these two button presses. So let's press again on the left side, and right side dims it. And once again, I have to be mindful of the sensor or receiver to make sure that it is receiving. So there we go. So pressing on the left one raises the brightness, and the right button brings it down. So I need to press it. So pressing and holding does not continuously activate the function, so need to tap on it. Okay, so there we go with the brightness adjustments. Left side for raising it, right side for bringing it down. So let's jack it back up to the maximum there. And then let's go through the colors again, just to make sure that everything's in order. just like that. And then obviously we can bring the brightness down and then toggle through the brightness as well of the various colors, as you can see right there. So quite fun to play around with. There we go. And highly decorative. So now let's progress on with the lower sequence of colors or buttons there. So let's go ahead and press these buttons and see what they do. So I've just tapped on that button there. So it is kind of yellowish, even though on the keypad it's indicating an orange color, but that's just fine. And let's go through the rest of the colors. I'm just going to press really quickly and make sure that the brightness is turned up as well to the maximum so you can see more clearly. So here we go again. So I'm going to press on the, there we go. We have the proper orange color now. And then going through the various colors. So some of the changes are quite subtle, so you won't see that dramatic change in color, but you can see my thumb there pressing on the various buttons. And if we look closely on the keypad, there is some text on the keypad there. Let me shift the light around and let me see if I can read it on my tiny LCD screen. There it says flash, strobe, fade, and smooth. So it seems to be 4 transitional effects for the lighting. So let's go ahead and press on flash and make sure that we are actually pointing at the light. Okay, let's try a different mode just to make sure that we are actually transmitting properly and that the light is receiving the command from the remote. Let me just turn it around so that the sensor is once again facing us. Okay, so let's do it this way. So here we go. I'm going to press on the flash and then strobe and then fade. And then the last one was smooth. Let's press on smooth. So you can see the 4 modes there. Let's press on flash again. So I can't quite tell with the flash that it is flashing or not, but it is changing from one color to the next. Let's go ahead and press on the second button down again on the gray buttons. So that's strobe. And then fade. You can see fade is quite an obvious effect with the very, very smooth transition from color to color. And then let's press on the final button, which is smooth. So I can't really tell the effects between smooth, flash, and strobe. But there we have it anyway. If you perhaps analyze the video a bit more closely, you might be able to tell the difference, but I can't for the life of me tell the difference right now between those 3. But with the fade right there, it's very obvious with the very smooth transition or cycling effect. So very beautiful indeed. And let me point it down and then try the colors again. So let's go into red maybe and then press the effect with the flash, strobe, smooth, beg your pardon, that was fade, and then smooth. So flash, strobe, fade, and smooth. So fade as I said earlier, is the only kind of noticeable lighting effect in terms of its actual effect there. Okay, let's just press around with the colors now. And do that one more time, starting with the top row red, orange, and so on and so forth. And then obviously we step into the effects right there. I press rather quickly through the effects, so you're not going to see the effects in effect. Okay, let's do that one more time very quickly. And then of course turning it off and then back on again. And let's see if it resumes at the last color, and it does. So that's quite nice to see that it does have a memory effect there. And let's see if the memory effect works with the lighting effect as well. So yes, it does. So it will resume at the last status. Okay, so I can think of many fun things that you can do. Like I said, you could put it in your aquarium, swimming pool, bathtub, or just general hallway lighting for ambient effect or mood lighting. So quite fun indeed. But I can think of good pranks as well. If you stuck this secretly under your friend's car and then just drove around with it, as in get your friend to drive around without them knowing, and then playing around with the lights and get some reactions from other commuters, like from other cars or just pedestrians, and see what kind of reactions you get from that. And your friend would be wondering, why are people staring? So yeah, I like to prank. I'm quite a joker, so that's something fun to do. But there's one last thing that we can try out, being that this is a submersible LED light after all. Let's test it out in a tub of water. So I do have a tub of water over here. And let's go ahead and drop it in. And of course, turning it on. There we go. So make sure that it is pointing into the receiver of the light, and you can see a very nice glow right there. And I have the LED pointed downwards to the table, so it's not too glaring, but you can see just like that, it is quite strong. So let's give it a flip anyway, just to see what it's like with the LED facing upwards. So facing upwards, it is quite intense, but nonetheless, very, very effective. So you can see beautiful, beautiful light coming from this Westonetek Waterproof LED light. And of course we can cycle through the colors, jumping about from one color to the next, and making sure that the receiver is receiving the remote command. So very cool indeed. And let's go back to the fade, which is my favorite effect there, being very soft and gentle with the transitions there, which has a very calming effect. So that's the Westonetek Waterproof LED light. Thanks for watching and happy shining!